Thank you, Lady Ashley. And yes, I'm here with Colleen from Planned Parenthood. Yes, thanks for coming in and loving on us in the telethon. And it's nice to spend some time with you. And we're not like frantically running around and doing things. So what's going on?
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation to be here. As Lady mentioned, health equity and really working on disparities in our community has been so important to me throughout my medical career, and I'm so happy to now be in this position with Planned Parenthood where we can really look as an organization at how we are helping the community, specifically the trans community, work on some of those disparities and fix some of those health gaps that we have here in Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the intentionality that you and leadership and the rest of your leadership team are approaching trans expansive humans with healthcare. It's vital. I've said a couple of times that I believe that the trans expansive community needs Planned Parenthood as much as Planned Parenthood needs us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's that reciprocity, that relationship. We need you and we want you, right? And we want to keep building their skills and building the relationship. So why don't you talk about what's going on with Planned Parenthood right now?
Yeah, well, certainly, probably most folks are aware that we are in the midst of a fight to keep our license to provide abortion care to whoever needs it here in Missouri. But at the same time, we are also in the process of really evaluating what our community needs. Planned Parenthood has 9 health centers across Missouri, which includes some locations even as far as Springfield and Joplin, Missouri, and out there in the county too, in St. Peters and West County. And so we really are, with the new leadership we have, looking at how can Planned Parenthood best meet the needs of our community. And so while, yes, we're working on lots of litigation, fighting the state to be able to maintain access to abortion care and to be paid for services that we provide to folks who have Medicaid, we're also really, I think, in an opportune time to rethink the services that we're providing and how we're providing them to the community to make sure that they're getting their needs met.
That is so much, right? I mean, that's a lot, to be participating in all the intersections of the movement and liberation and making sure that people's basic needs are getting met and not getting paid and reimbursed by our state. And that's a lot.
It is a lot, but Planned Parenthood is a big organization with a big footprint, and we have a responsibility and an obligation to do that work. I think, more and more, I am really, my heart is warmed by the fact that more and more people in justice work are recognizing the fact that it isn't just one fight. It isn't just a reproductive justice fight or a trans fight or an economic justice fight or a racial justice fight, really that all of those things intersect. And gosh, if we could all be working together, the movement we could make is really, I'm excited to think about what that could look like.
Sure, getting all of our folks' basic needs and met to get to that self-actualization part. That's what we were just talking about earlier in Coffee Talk, is that we're working at this base level so much that what we really want our folks to be living their authentic and best lives.
That's right.
Mind, body, spirit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I read, I saw, I witnessed a big expansion that's occurred recently in the Planned Parenthood family.
That's right.
So what's going on over in Illinois?
Yeah, so kudos to the leadership team before I got there, who was really thinking sort of way ahead of the game, seeing what was happening in Missouri, not just for abortion care, but really for care in all of our marginalized communities, and thinking about how will we be able to meet the needs of folks in the region, not even just in Missouri, but in the region. And so some space was identified in Illinois, which, as many people know, is a state that is much more supportive of Black folks, of trans folks, of folks who are seeking abortion care. And so we opened a brand new 18,000 square foot facility, which will provide all of the care that we provide, not just abortion care. It will provide all of that STD care, all that well people care. It will offer the PrEP services that we offer in all of our locations. And it really provides us an opportunity to one, meet some needs of folks in Illinois, but also to have a plan if Missouri continues to restrict the care that we can provide.
Yeah, so that we can still all access care.
That's right.
Yes. So talk to me, let's talk trans, right? So let's talk about where you feel you all are at now and where do you anticipate going with our community?
Yeah, so I think, once I joined Planned Parenthood as the Chief Medical Officer, which was just in July, believe it or not.
Wow.
I was really actually excited to see that they had already started to do some work. They had brought in MTUG and some other groups groups, promo, to do some of the training for our staff to make sure that they are ready to really be seeing trans folks in a way that is affirming and meeting their needs. Certainly there is more work to be done, and we are in the process of doing that. You know, we are also now right smack dab in the middle of working on some real partnerships within the community to make sure that we're hearing from the community to see what are the services they need and how can Planned Parenthood meet those needs. You know, as I said earlier, I think we are a big organization with lots of opportunity, and with that comes an obligation. You know, our mission has always been to center our patients and to center the needs of the community. And trans folks have some serious healthcare gaps, and we can and will fill those gaps. We want to be sure that we're doing it in a way that respects the community and the needs that they have. And so it will take a little bit of time, but I think, you know, looking into the future, we are hoping to be providing full spectrum trans care to folks, making sure that there is some wraparound services, you know, having somebody who can help navigate gender marker changes, not just give their hormone therapy to them, right? So we're trying to be intentional and thoughtful and expansive, and certainly folks should be looking out for some announcements from Planned Parenthood as well as from MTUG about these community meetings. Because we want to hear from folks. We want to know what they need.
I appreciate that intentionality so much. I've been at your table a number of times and been invited to your table a number of times because there's been some tables I've had to push myself to, but the intentionality of you all and your staff, from direct support staff all the way up the ladder, I suppose, have been really intentional and just good listening ears, right? And even having some kind of tough conversations, right? Because you all have evolved as liberation has occurred, and we sort of like do better when we know better. And I believe that about Planned Parenthood and the care that you all are currently providing for trans expansive folks, and going forward with the care that you're going to provide for us.
I also want to echo and acknowledge, certainly there have been some things in the past where we haven't done great. And I, you know, the current leadership is always open to accountability checks, and I think we all should be, you know. And I think it's important that you notice, you know, those tables we've all had to sort of elbow our way into. That, I think, is one of the things that unites all of our justice movements, right? So as an abortion provider, certainly there have been times where I've had to elbow my way into that, right? And I think that is really the thing that ties all of our justice movements together, if we can sort of rely on that sort of fight that we all share, and really use that to center each of our movements and move us forward.
For sure. I think we've said it a number of times through this telethon, like none of us are free until all of us are free.
That's right.
Believe that wholeheartedly. And I think that that's just mind, body, spirit, the whole thing. One of the things that we were talking about earlier, I guess yesterday, was language, and how language is so vital and important. I think especially in healthcare settings, using neutral language, using affirming language. And I've noted that specifically just in the evolution of coming to the main clinic, I guess, and talking with your staff and just hearing people going from using the word like pregnant folks rather than like, you know, assuming that all humans who are pregnant identify as women, or using really affirming language when it comes to our body parts, or not assuming things when we come in. I think that that's really important. And how do you incorporate that into the culture of Planned Parenthood? That's
a great question. So, you know, we have really revamped how we even bring new staff members on. And we include many of the components of the MTUG Trans 101 education that you all have done for us into that very work of just bringing somebody on. You know, the other things is that we try and model it, right? And I also remind folks to have some grace for yourself and not be offended when you make a mistake and somebody calls you out, right? That's the only way that we can all get better. I tell folks all the time, you know, I have been caring for trans people for 10 years and I still make mistakes, and you acknowledge you made a mistake and you move on, right? Because I think if you have sincere interest in doing better for folks, then they will appreciate that.
Yeah, one of the things that I really appreciate is just the intentionality I think that you all are approaching. And we have a gift for our partnering organizations. We'd love for you to put this up in your office or in your space, because it really, your support is vital to trans liberation, and the way you all support us in a variety of ways. both with your healthcare services, and I think you might be bringing a check to support us in
We
a
sure
financial
are.
way.
We sure are.
We just really appreciate it. We want to continue to
awesome.
work with you all and support you, supporting us, supporting you, right?
That's awesome. I love it. And yes, we have 9 health centers in this state, so we will get a couple of copies of
Right.
this to,
Beautiful.
to hang up.
All
and
right.
you are also correct in that Planned Parenthood not only wants to help provide health services for the community, but we also want to center you with resources, right?
Yes.
You all are doing so much great work for the trans community, and we see that as a vital part of our mission as well. So everybody should start sort of writing those checks, clicking those boxes, and donate also to MTUG, because Planned Parenthood is offering a $1,000 match here
Yes,
for
right
your
on.
donations for the next hour.
$1,000, y'all. $1,000 match. Let's do it. Let's raise some funds for the Metro Trans Umbrella Group. Give some love to Planned Parenthood. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you
yes,
so
yes.
much. All right, I'll give it back to the main room.